Welcome everybody to a eTeamBRIT track guide sponsored by VBox Motorsports. So today we're going to drive around Donnington. Donnington is in Leicestershire in England. It has, on the layout we're going to be driving today, 12 turns, which you start off at the Wheatcroft Straight. Then we're going to turn 1, which is going to be the red gate. Then we're going to go to 2 and 3, which are the Craner curves. Then you get to number 4, which is going to be the old hairpin. 5 and 6 are called the Starkey's Bridge. 7 is McLean. We get to 8, which is Hoppus. Then again, we're going to go onto the Starkey Straits. Then we get to 9 and 10, which are the S's, which is the gain. Then we're going to get to a hairpin, which is called the Melbourne Hairpin. And one more hairpin, which is the Goddard's, number 12. And then back on the straight. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go out there for a slow lap. And I'm going to show you my braking points and where to accelerate. After we've done the whole lap, we're going to go out for one quick lap just to put it all in practice. So let's get into it. Right, so we're going to come through the last turn, which is turn 12, which we just spoke about. Right. So when you get to the straight, of course you're going to full throttle it. And we're going to set ourselves up for the left-hand side of the track. So you just want to pull over slowly and set yourself up. You're going to cross the exit of the pit lane, so be careful if there's anybody on the track, of course, or coming out. So you're going to turn all the way to the left as far as you can. When you get around, I would say a car length of the end of the pit, you're going to shift down to second. You're going to slowly turn the car in, and you want to then slowly hit the apex, not too early, and then you slowly accelerate out onto the AstroTurf, and then pull back on. Then we're going to go down this hill, but this is going to be a full throttle part. It's a really good part, but you got to hold it down, hold it tight to the right-hand side. Use these little poles as an indication. It's going to come up to a left, still full throttle, and then we get to our next braking point, which is the marker on the right. When that passes, well, in the FOV I have, when that passes us, we will downshift to a third gear, stay close to the outer apex, then turn into third gear for the AMG, cut over the chicane, and then all the way out to the left hand side of the apex again. Then we're going to pull ourselves to the right hand side of the track, turn into the left, try and take the apex with you, hold the steering wheel. If you do it properly, you can hold the steering wheel in one angle to get all the way to the other side on the left. So you're gonna stick to the left, hold it to the left. When you pass brake marker there, you're gonna slam onto the brakes, go to second gear, turn into the right, try and apex as close as you can to those little bollards, and then come out wide on the left hand side on the AstroTurf, and then pull straight. Don't go too far wide there, or your car is gonna hit dirt, grass, you're gonna spin out. Now we're coming up to a different and a difficult one. You're coming up to a blind corner. What I normally do is I get up to here, and when I can tell that the sign on the right in front of me, I can see it, I start braking. Go down to second. Depends on how hard you want to brake. Because I drive with hand controls, I brake quite hard compared to others. So just before the curb ends, I'm going to slam on the brakes, back down to second. Cut the chicane, but don't cut the chicane. Cut the curb, but don't cut too much. Cut too much, the car unsettles and you're going to slip out. Then you're going to just full throttle your way out. Be careful that you don't go too far wide. You come wide, stay near the curb, but don't go over it. Or don't go past it because you're going to slip. Grass equals death. Then we're going to slowly pull to the right. And then you see that we get to the chicane, which is the most fun part. So we got a 2 sign, then we got a 1 line, and then when you pass this one, you need to understand that you're getting to your braking point. What I normally do is halfway between the number 1 board and the little chicane sign, I slam on the brakes and bring it down to second or third, depends on the speed you're pulling into. Then you want to turn in, cut over the curb, but be careful that you don't hit the tire wall that you can see on my left, and not too much cutting or else the car unsettles. Then you're gonna make a straight line over the curb on the right hand side fully, and then come out slowly on the left hand side and set yourself up for the next turn. Here we're going to get to the, I think it's the Melbourne Hairpin. We're going to see the first sign here. This is where we're going to know that we need to brake soon. I don't use the brake sign as my brake point. I use it just as an indication that there is going to soon I need to brake, because just in front of my car right there is a little black patch on the curb. If you can see, it's just in front of the bonnet. That is where you slam on your brakes, and we'll go all the way back down to first gear. This one is a bit of a tricky one. You can keep it tight or apex late. I like to turn in early and then keep it tight. And when you get to halfway, you start accelerating out to the outer curb, and then you go full throttle up to the next part, which we're going to get to now. And this one is also a tricky one because it's a blind corner and it's a bit of a bump here. So when you get to this curb, just before the curb turns into fully white on the right hand side, so you'll see the full white at the end, then there's a bit of red and then a bit of white. I normally brake exactly around this spot. So when my bonnet hits the red just before the white, I slam on the brakes and go to second and turn in. Don't go in a straight line, follow the black on the track and just turn in towards where you see the sign on the left. Then you slam your brakes on, and you want to apex late here, so you just kind of like ignore the turn, and then you apex late, and then when you get onto the curve here, so you're halfway, you can then just absolutely throttle out, full throttle, and then you're back on the finish straight. And that would have been a lap. So let's try out to do another one. Here we go. Set ourselves up for the first turn. We're going to go over the pit lane, slam the brakes on, down to second. We're going to want to turn in, full throttle out to the outside. This is going to be the downhill part, which is going to be full throttle. We're going to keep it tight. We're going to keep it tight here, and then past the first sign, we're going to slam the brakes on, down to third. We're going to cut in, full throttle out. We're going to go wide a bit, over the curb, to the outside of the curb, back to the inside, past the sign. We're going to slam our brakes down to second. We're going to cut in, and then we're going to full throttle out. Watch out that you don't get oversteer. Up to the blind part. We're going to slam onto the brakes, down to second. And then we're going to full throttle out. We're going to bit of oversteer there. Bit too harsh on the throttle. We're going to set ourselves up for the next one. Past the one board, halfway between the other sign. We're going to slam onto the brakes. We're going to cut in, slide straight over, out to the outside. And we're going to get up to the first sign. And then just after the first sign, there's a mark on the floor. We're going to slam onto the brakes. A bit too early. We're going to keep it tight. Then we're going to speed out. We're going to set ourselves up for the other U-turn just before it starts to go wide. We're going to go on the brakes. We're going to apex late. And then we're going to full throttle out. And that is a lap around Donnington Park.
Well done, mate. That's the best.
Hope you guys enjoy that. Thank you so much for watching. And you all have a good one. Ciao, ciao.